Amazon fulfillment centers are taking on hundreds of orders per second today as shoppers search for bargains on Cyber Monday. But one question that many online customers probably don't think about asking, how do those orders make it to your doorstep within hours of your purchase? Amazon Flex is a nearly invisible workforce of self-employed shippers that get your packages delivered on time. It's an app-based program for couriers to sign up for shifts, and they usually make about $20 per hour. In the article, Amazon's Last Mile, Gizmodo writer Brian Menenges explains the relatively unknown program deployed in dozens of cities. And Brian joins us now to talk about this. Now, Brian, I remember when I started to notice that it wasn't the FedEx guy dropping off my package anymore. It was a regular person that didn't have a special shirt on or anything along those lines. And you're right, it just sort of rolled out quietly. And I didn't know anything about it. So tell me about Amazon Flex.
Well, yeah, like you said, a lot of people assume when you order something from Amazon, you're going to get it from any of the major courier companies, you know, FedEx, UPS, United States Postal Service. But since around September of 2015, they've been slowly rolling out this program where independent contractors will sign up for shifts on their own sort of Uber-like platform.
Okay, so then how do people sign up, and how come we don't know about it? I mean, most of us are getting packages from Amazon, probably using guys who are Amazon Flex guys.
Sure. Well, the sign-up process basically is when Amazon decides that a facility of theirs is going to start participating in Flex, or if they need that facility to just get more drivers, they'll usually do a big push on Craigslist and similar kind of job hunting sites, up to a dozen posts a day, where they'll start kind of putting out ads for people to be their own boss and make some denomination of money per hour.
So they don't say work for Amazon?
They don't, because it's not technically Amazon who's their employer. They treat them as independent contractors. And to sign up, all you really have to do is send basic biographic info and, you know, agree to a background check.
But you're using your own car?
Your own car.
Is it your own gas, or how does it work?
Yeah, the program pushes kind of all the incurred costs onto the person doing the work, like vehicle wear, like gas, and sometimes dollies for people to move the packages around. But none of the benefits of what you would expect from a traditional job, like healthcare or workers' comp in the event of an injury.
Right, because it sounds almost like a pretty decent side hustle. But there are a lot of buts, because you are self-employed, so you're not covered in a variety of different ways.
Sure, yeah. And for a lot of people that I spoke to, Amazon Flex was a supplementary income as part of other supplementary incomes. So these were people that were doing Flex and Instacart and Uber, basically anything that you can do making a bit of money if you already have a car.
Right.
The people that actually seemed to be happiest with it were the ones that weren't treating it like their own business and just using it to get a little bit of extra cash on the side.
Yes, this whole new economy, but you're right, you have several part-time jobs, but none of the protection of being a full-time worker, though you may be putting in more than full-time hours in some cases, I presume.
Oh, of course. Yeah. Although that's only if you factor in all of the gigs that these people are doing. A lot of the drivers that I spoke to also mentioned that Amazon artificially caps their hours. Some people said 40, some people gave other numbers, but it seems that the purpose of that is to avoid having to pay overtime.
Very interesting. In fact, you interview a reporter in your article, and he says it seems like they are, meaning Amazon, jumping through a lot of hoops to avoid being an employer for not really a good economic reason. Why do you suppose that is? Explain what the lawyer's getting at.
Well, what they're saying is that there are a lot of these types of platforms that exist with a business where that's the whole thing. Like Uber, that's all they do. Instacart, that's all they do. Amazon is a vast empire with a lot of different components, and they certainly have the money to be able to make these people full-time employees. But as we've seen from previous investigations, from Amazon's own job listings and from advocacy organizations, Amazon relies really heavily on kind of part-time work, seasonal work, and what they call on-call labor. And this is just sort of the next logical extension of that, where they have to pay them less and they have to give them less protection.
Have they thought about organizing these drivers? Have they thought about suing Amazon?
As far as organization is concerned, there was, I believe, one effort that was pretty futile.
Right.
There have been strikes going on in Europe against Amazon, but none really in the United States with regards to Flex. And where it goes to the ability to sue, unfortunately, a lot of them have already waived that right without realizing it.
Is that part of the contract?
Well, so an Amazon Flex driver that furnished his or her contract to Gizmodo, it contained a clause for arbitration, which, although it says they had 2 weeks to opt out, most of the drivers I spoke to had no idea it was in there, didn't really know what they were signing. And what that means functionally is that if they have a grievance that they can't, work out with Amazon directly, they've already waived the right to bring a court case or a class action lawsuit.
Oh, man. So this is Amazon's attempt to become less dependent on mainstream courier services like UPS or FedEx. Is it working for them?
It's hard to say. I mean, Amazon really weren't forthcoming with numbers in terms of how large the workforce for Flex is, how many local courier companies that they're working with through Flex, or where their dependencies lies in terms of using those larger courier services. But, it has been rolling out steadily over 2 years, and it's not hard to imagine that it will continue to do so.
It's very interesting stuff. Great article. Brian Menegas, thank you.